And every month, the Chelmsford Business Association visits 2 local businesses. We learn what makes each one successful, what makes it unique, and what makes it an integral part of the town we love. So let's get down to business with the Chelmsford Business Association. Hello and welcome to the Chelmsford Business Association. I'm your host, Bill Martin, along with Paul Aronian. Today we're at Remco Flooring at their new location right across the street from St. John's Church. They have all kinds of samples of wood products and flooring products in there. The McClure family's been doing this for almost 25 years now. We're going to go inside. We're going to have a look here on the Chelmsford Business Association. We're here with store owner Bob McClure. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Bill.
Yeah, and this is our second or third time here now, right?
Yeah, I believe second or third, absolutely, yes.
This is our first time to the new location, and what a great spot you have here.
Amazing. We're so happy we found it, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm sure. And now we're right across from St. John's Church.
Yes, sir.
We've got all kinds of samples. We've got all showroom for virtually any type of flooring. Yeah. Tell us how the family got started in the flooring business.
Well, it started with my dad way back when. So he's probably, he had been doing it probably for 4 or 5 years before I came into the business. And it's just actually something he kind of fell into, to be honest with you. Was looking for a job, got a job at a carpet store, and lo and behold, 25 years later, here we are. So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and he's the REM in Remco, I'm guessing,
He
right?
is the REM in Remco, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And now it's a family-owned business. As I'm walking through here, I'm bumping into McClure's every time I turn a corner.
Yep. Sister's hiding in the back somewhere. My son's bopping around somewhere as well. And we do, we do have one other employee, Jay, as well as our installers. But for the most part, it is a true family business.
Yeah. Now, we know that with flooring, there's such a glut of commercials and all kinds of flooring things going on, but there's really nothing like the family-owned business right here locally.
Absolutely, yep. We're set ourselves apart with customer service from the big box stores and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Not that they have their place in the market as well, but it's nice to come in and get some personalized service and, see it through from start to finish.
Yeah, and as we were talking earlier, just all the different products. I mean, we have wood, real wood. We have pictures of wood.
The products nowadays are amazing. There's tile that looks like wood. There's vinyl that looks like wood.
Wood that looks like tile.
Wood that looks like tile. Absolutely. So the selection has grown exponentially. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, I know you got some best sellers here, some real popular products. Why don't we go have a look? And now, what are the folks looking at mostly here, Bob? When they come in, they're looking to replace their flooring, to go over it. They probably have 1,000 questions.
They do have 1,000 questions, and more often than not, you can go over existing flooring and or put down a new subflooring or something like that.
Yeah.
This particular product happens to be LVT or LVP, which is luxury vinyl tile and or plank.
Okay.
And it has kind of taken the world by storm, both commercially and residentially.
And what is it actually? What's it made out of?
It's made of vinyl. It's probably only about an eighth of an inch or so thick, but it wears like iron, commercially rated, but as you can see, it's suitable for residences as well.
This looks just like wood. I mean,
it's almost like the real McCoy, just not as thick. As I said, if you didn't know it wasn't real wood, you might be fooled by it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And now this comes in a sheet, a roll, or does it come in squares?
This actually comes like in a plank or a tile. So the wood, the wood was actually in a 6-inch by 48-inch plank.
Okay.
And the tiles actually come either like 12 by 12 or 16 by 16. The tiles actually have a grout added to them that isn't a real grout, so you're not worried about the staining of the grout or anything like that.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, and now you belong to a buyer's group, so I mean all the number one things that are coming out on the market, you have not only quick access to, but you really have a pricing power there too.
We do. We belong to something called the Flooring Network, which has actually been around a bit longer than Remco, probably 35 years. They're based out of Augusta, Maine, but they stock everything, so we can normally get things within a day or two. We have 4 trucks a week, and again, being part of that buying group does allow us to compete with the big box stores of the world.
Yeah. Now, it occurs to me as we're talking about this LVT, that really sometimes you might be hesitant to put wood in a bathroom or a kitchen or someplace that might be getting water, but this really solves that problem.
So this definitely solves it, almost makes it a moot point. The other thing that's becoming amazing on the market is actually a wood look ceramic tile. So again, that could go into a wet or a bathroom area if you were concerned, and rightfully so, about putting wood in a bathroom or something like that. But the wood look ceramic tiles are are amazing.
Well, why don't we go have a look?
Absolutely.
Now, this is that porcelain tile that looks just like real wood.
It's amazing. It is porcelain tile. So again, it can go into a wet area, a little bit more resilient than your real hardwood as far as scratching and that type of stuff.
Sure.
And again, you can see it looks like the real McCoy. It looks like wood.
It does. And, they would have to, but they even put like the little imperfections, like it's used planks and that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
Really,
so you can get it in a distressed look. Again, these samples here just scratch the surface of what is available.
Sure.
But you can get it in a distressed look as well as a smoother look. But they've done a great job with it.
Yeah. And now this is real tile. This is made out of porcelain. It's the concrete cement type thing you've come to know as tile. And now you treat it the same, you grout it the same, you seal it the same?
Yep, so this is, unlike the LVT that comes with a grout to it. This one you do have to add a grout, grout, but it is set down the same way. You typically put it in a staggered pattern, but you do grout and seal it as you would any other ceramic tile.
Right. Yeah, porcelain tile, and it looks just like wood.
Yeah.
And now you don't really have real wood that looks like porcelain tile, right?
No, that we don't. That's something they haven't come up with yet. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Now, as we continue here, Bob, we have, this is the real wood, hardwood here.
This is the real wood, two different versions of it. So they have the solid hardwood, which is made to go over wooden subfloors. And as you can see, most of them are made in what they call an engineered wood as well. So maybe people that live in a slab house or want to put wood in their basement, the engineered wood allows you to do that because you don't have to nail it in.
And this is that difference here. This is the engineered wood, and this is like, is it
about a 1/2 inch thick.
And what's on it that makes it look like wood?
So that is real wood. So if it says it's oak, it's oak. If it says it's hickory, it's hickory.
But it's just a thin...
It's thinner, and they've made it so, again, that you can glue it down as opposed to nailing it down. So, again, like if you're on a concrete floor, you could use the engineered wood, whereas you couldn't use the solid because you couldn't nail into it.
You can't nail into it, right. If you're, well, and like this, if we were to do this...
This would be a perfect example, absolutely.
Exactly right. Yep. So, in this side here, it matches it perfectly.
Right.
It's the exact same thing.
And it runs the gamut from hickories to bamboos to maples to oaks. Any type of wood out there is probably available.
Yeah. And that bamboo has become so popular, really took right off, didn't it?
It has, yep.
Is that down here?
The bamboo is down this way, yep.
Now, Bobby, this is the bamboo here, and as we said, this is really a popular wood today, isn't it?
It has become increasingly popular. As you can say, you can get it in many different sizes and flavors, and absolutely, this has taken the world by storm, almost somewhat similar to the LVT.
Yeah. Now, with bamboo, I'm thinking in my head like the shaft of a tiki torch or something. I'm not thinking something as durable, but bamboo is really one of the hardest woods available.
It is probably one of the hardest woods available. Again, it kind of recycles itself as well, so we're not cutting down oak trees or whatever. So it's, as far as environmentally,
sure, sustainable resource.
Yes, sir. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And that's a great thing. And and as you can see here, it looks great. You can get it with the with the rough pattern to it, or just as smooth as can be.
Yep. And again, our bamboos or whatever, they're certified green, so to speak. So you're not worried about any of the formaldehydes or anything like that. So it is.
And that really has become a big thing. There was 60 Minutes did something with one of the larger flooring companies, and they were concerned with several aspects. But that's an important thing.
Especially today's day and age. So again, it was primarily I won't get into Chinese bamboo or wood from, had a ton of formaldehyde in it. So anything, and I think most of the retailers or floor stores in this area, anything we purchase or put in your home is certified not to have formaldehyde. It's not from... It's either from, the U.S. or Canada or something like that.
Absolutely. I understand. And there is an actual certification that this is inspected, and when you sell it, you can be comfortable and confident that you're giving your customers the best thing.
Unequivocally. You could go on any of the websites, as well as there's, pamphlets or information, and there's a certified, stamp with a green label, so to speak, that assures you that it is...
Yeah. Now, we've covered the dining room, the living room, but still upstairs, 3 bedrooms, we want it carpeted, right?
Yeah, and you'd be surprised. There's a style of carpet that has come back in a large way.
Don't say shag.
I'm going to say shag.
Well, let's go have a look.
All
right, I'm back to high school here, Bob. Tell me about the shag carpet.
Well, like I said, it's no longer called shag. The designers and the millers have decided to call it frisé carpet, but I can assure you it is fashioned after the old the old shag carpets that I'm sure you were used to.
Yeah.
You'll just notice it doesn't come in the greens and the avocados and the bright oranges anymore.
Right.
So the color palette is a lot more user friendly, so to speak.
Back in the 70s, you did not want to get the flu with some of those colors in those rooms.
Oh my goodness gracious! No, they may make you dizzy as a matter of fact. But as you can see, the colors have come a long way.
Yeah, and it's really a thick pile. That's a
nice and soft. It's nice to get up in the morning. You stick your feet in it, and it's perfect carpet for a bedroom or even higher traffic areas as well.
Yeah, and and that tends to be the thing. Like I'm just thinking, like my own house downstairs, hardwood tile. In the kitchen, the bathroom, the living room, and so forth. But then the bedrooms, I mean, it just makes so much sense to have the nice warm carpet.
Yeah, I would say we do a lot of new construction and in existing homes, and I would say the majority of people still like that cushy carpet feel in the bedrooms. It's nice to get up in the morning and bare feet and kind of sink your feet into something nice and soft.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And now, one of the things that we kind of touched on it a little bit, but in terms of installing the carpet or the floor, anything that anybody finds here in your store,
yes,
in terms of needing to know how much product they need, what sizes, will it fit, who's going to install it,
right.
Tell us a little about that process.
Yeah, so we see it through from start to finish. So we have our own estimator, or I do a lot of the measurements or estimating myself.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it be ceramic, wood, carpet, we do have our own installers as well. So somebody might come in, and the next step would be to head out, do a measurement for them. At that point, they'd receive a proposal and would go from there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So if somebody just came in and they would sit down, look at some of the books, see some of the samples, and then you would then come and tell them, "Let me come out to the house, measure up the rooms, and see what's required."
And we probably don't look like it, but we're also pretty good with design as well. So some people might come in not knowing what they want or what color they want or whatever.
Yeah.
But we have a design advice.
Oh,
as
sure,
well.
yeah.
So that's something we can help with as well. If some people are good at knowing exactly what they want, and some people need some help figuring out what they want.
Well, that's it, and it's like I know some people that have like such brilliant, bold ideas, and it comes out great.
Yes.
And I'm thinking I'm just gonna paint this like in the old day we called it FHA white,
right?
Because it had that little tan that would do all the apartments in and everything else.
Yeah.
And it's like the design part is so.
It can be overwhelming, absolutely.
Yeah.
But as I said, we've been doing this now for over 20 years, and we're pretty good at putting things together and making sure they match with countertops and paint colors and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, Bob, thanks for having us here. It was great to meet and see your family again. With the CBA, the McClure name has been a staple in the Chelmsford Business Association for many years.
Been a lifer. Yep, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we do appreciate it. And I'll tell you, I just want to say, folks, if you're thinking about flooring, don't be intimidated. Don't let it scare you away. Come on down here to Remco, meet with Bobby or any of the other folks here, and just take a tour through some of the things they have. You'll get some great ideas, and I know you're going to be very happy. And so, Bob, thanks very much. It's been a pleasure. For Paul Aronian, John Harrington, I'm Bill Martin. Thanks for watching. Welcome to the Chelmsford Business Association. I'm your host, Bill Martin, along with Paul Aronian. And we had to actually catch up with Bob McCrensky here on the job site. We've been trying to get Hancock Builders on the show for a long time. He's so busy, but we finally came down to the Triangle Service Station, where he's doing a great job here on a nice full building addition. Welcome to the show, Bob.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
Yeah, and we had a chance. We were catching up a little bit as we were talking about just the history of Chelmsford, how long you've been in business here in town, and how long has it been?
Well, I started April 23rd, 1974, 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
40 years.
Time flies.
It sure does.
Yeah.
And you cut offhanded, you said you started it with $260.
$260.
Yeah. Well, you've done pretty well.
Yeah, it's done very well. It's been a great town to work in.
Yeah. Yeah, and we raised our kids in this town, and now our grandchildren in this town, and it's really come a long way. Talk a little bit about the early days when you first started out in business.
Well, the early days, we actually worked for other companies, physically building buildings, and then we started buying our own equipment and having basically our own crews. So then we started developing property ourselves. and that's how it developed over the years.
Yeah, and you had no way of knowing if you were even working the next day in the early days.
No, in the old days, I can tell you this. I mean, there were plenty of weeks I didn't bring a check home to my wife.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what it's all about, though, is
Yeah.
working hard.
Yeah. You know, we were kind of reminiscing a little bit back when all our kids were younger. Both our wives worked at the Fox Nursery School for Elizabeth Fox.
Yeah, my wife, Susan, loved working over there with the kids.
My wife, Edie, was the music teacher.
Yeah, that was a great time those days.
Yeah, and great kids. And Mrs. Fox was just, as so many of our viewers know, she was just an absolute precious addition to this town.
Yeah, and a lot of the kids who are now in their 30s and 40s remember those days, and it's amazing.
Yeah, oh yeah, they got a good start at the Fox Nursery
They did.
School.
They were wonderful people.
Yeah. And now Hancock Builders, was it John Hancock?
No, you know, what happened is that when I wanted to start this little company, my brother was in the public relations business, and I said, what do I name the company? He said to me, well, put a list down of what you think might be good. Well, I grew up in Lexington, so one of the names I put down was Hancock, because we grew up off of Hancock Street. And he said, you know, I like that name because it sounds like you've been in business a long time, but you haven't been. Right. So it sounds good. He said, let's make
200 years.
He sounds like, let's make it Hancock Building Associates, and that's how we got the name.
No kidding, isn't that something?
Yeah.
I was always wondering, I know Mr. McCretsky's, I don't know who Mr. Hancock is.
Right.
Yeah. And so now as time goes on and you're building and developing, and really some of the developments got pretty big and some actually not so close to home.
Well, yeah, you know, in the old days, I built tire stores all over New England at one time. I built a lot of banks for Northern Bank and Trust, and it's been wonderful. And then my latest one that I'm very proud of is on North Road across from St. Mary's Church. I built that beautiful office building that is a duplicate of a colonial theme home in Cambridge.
Yeah, and it is a beautiful building. In the replica, I mean it.
Yeah, the
you
detail.
nailed it.
Yeah, the detail is. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah,
building.
we're gonna have to put a historic sign on that building. Finishing touch, right?
Yeah, it's quite a building. Yeah. So we do build commercial buildings all around still, and of course we do a lot of residential work that my son Daryl is involved with. So
yeah. Actually, you did the farmer's porch on my next door neighbors over on Vincent Road. Beautiful farmer's porch. My old friend Doug House was working for you at the time.
Yep.
And they framed it up real nice. And I've got to tell you, nobody that I know of has ever complained about the quality of work. I mean, the quality that you guys put in, it's there every single time.
Yeah, thank you. That's the way I was brought up. My grandfather was a German cabinet maker, and quality was the most important thing.
Yeah. Speaking of German cabinet makers, your next door neighbor, Lothar Fuchs, we've been in his store several times.
Lothar is the end of an era. Lothar is beyond a master craftsman. What Lothar could do with wood is going to be pretty much lost at this point.
Yeah.
Amazing man, amazing.
Yeah, and a wonderful man too. You know, Paul and I have had a chance to go over there twice. To meet with him and his wife, who she's just wonderful as well. She keeps that ship steering in the right direction.
Yeah,
there's no question.
She does. Yeah.
Yeah, but You're right. The work that he does there.
Oh, it's amazing. That's basically everything he could do by hand and inscribe and do inlays, which is a lost art today.
Yeah, there's a lot of that's passing by the way, and I don't know that I saw that many apprentices signing up to learn to make cabinets.
Yeah, no, the young fellas don't want to. It's not much of an interest in it at this point.
Yeah. You know, as we reminisce a little bit about the town, and I mean, you've seen a lot, you've built a lot of buildings. We just had not an early retirement, but John Harrington just retired from the liquor store business.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I know John well, and I'm happy for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I have the opportunity to serve with him on the Board of Water Commissioners, and as he was getting across the finish line with the store, you know, it was, but just a wonderful time, and it was so close to his birthday that he retired too. So
yeah, a lot of the businessmen, we know each other in town, and we help each other, and there's a wonderful group of people in this town in the business community.
Yeah, oh indeed. Yeah. You know, one of the things, not to get too political, but we were just talking about that 129 overlay, where there was the restrictions on what you could build on 129, And then it became clear that so many of the tenants of those buildings wanted more amenities, the daycare, dry cleaners, coffee shops, pizza, that kind of stuff. And then just Monday night, they approved it.
Yes, I'm glad they approved that. I think it was long overdue, and I think Evan Belansky did a great job. It couldn't have been thought out any better to protect abutting residents, and it's a great vote. It's only can help.
Yeah. I mean, with with some of the companies that have left, and just as we do the as they call it, a post-mortem on the situation, we find that time and time again they were looking for more amenities there.
Exactly, and I think that it's only a win-win situation for the owners in that area and for the tax base.
Yeah. Now we're here in McAllisters driveway. Peter, I guess, is the new.
Yeah, Peter is the owner.
Yeah. Dave's passed it on, and this McAllister project. Tell us a little bit about what we're doing here.
Well, what happened was 30 years ago, I added that bay on for his father.
Yeah.
So time flies, and now he owns the station, and I added this bay on here. Plus, we added a whole second floor onto the building.
Yeah.
So eventually, he'll have offices upstairs. He hopes, and he'll get approval for building all that work at some point.
Yeah. Because it's hard to hide this project. It's right here on Boston Road and Concord Road. We're driving by all the time.
Right, and I think the theme of making it look colonial, which is our idea, was going to make the neighbors happier, and I think it's going to be a great addition.
Oh, I think so. And like so many times, when you're done with an addition, it looks like it was built onto the building, right from day one, and that's what's
what we want to do.
Here.
And I think once the shutters are on and everything's cleaned up, the neighbors will be very happy about it.
Yeah. And now, as you meet with some of your friends in town, I know Fishbones is a bit of a hangout for you guys. Catching a lunch down there. As we're watching the town as it grows and grows, and then, like I was mentioning, I went to town meeting 2 weeks ago. I bet you I didn't know 20% of the people in that building.
Right. I've been here since '74, and I'm not considered a townie, but I know really most of the people in town, especially being in business in town, and the generations are changing.
Yeah. It used to be that I'd go into town meeting. It was like going into my high school cafeteria. I knew everybody. It was great to see everybody again. Everyone talking at once, and now I go in. I'm like, oh, I think I recognize that one person. It's we're rolling up in the generations.
Well, I'm actually building work. I'm doing work for the children now of the people that I did 30 years ago.
Well, right here.
So a lot of them have taken the parents' homes or have moved back into Chelmsford.
Sure.
So I'm doing the children now. So that's interesting.
Yeah, that's the way it happens. Yeah. Now, what's ahead for you? What are we looking at down the road for Hancock or for your family in particular?
Well, I'd like to. My son thinks I need to keep working, which what they all do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to help him out and continue to work on these projects and. To maybe play a little golf in between, but pretty much I want to keep working.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I really do.
Yeah. Well, no, and I guess technically your son has taken over the business, just like Peter has taken over here.
Correct.
You're Darryl, I think, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So they need our wisdom, and but they have new ideas of how to do things also.
Yeah, they want your wisdom, advice, and money, but they don't want you butting in.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Well, I know the tradition at Hancock Builders will continue for a long, long time, and we're so glad you made some time for us today. We've been looking forward to this for quite some time. So, and congratulations. So I know it's not the end of the career or anything, but it's just a great legacy to this point, and so congratulations on
thank
that.
you. Thank you very much.
All right. For Paul Aronian, I'm Bill Martin, and for John Harrington, our Executive Director of the Chelmsford Business Association, thanks for watching.